How's it going? So, back again. Actually in Augusta, do some medical stuff this week and take care of some appointments so I can get my PHA and all that stuff taken care of. Some lessons learned today. So, I was talking to a colonel who just recently retired, and we were talking about medical stuff and all that, and she was in agreement with what I was saying. So I did go to the hospital today, to the records section, and I did a request to get all my records on a disc. And so they're gonna do that. It takes about 3 weeks. You just basically sign up on their thing, and then 3 weeks later you come back and they'll give you a call and you come back and pick up your records. It'll be all on one CD, assuming that you have a CD drive, right? So there's that. And the lady also told me, like, no matter what you do after you get the CD, even if it's the day that you final out or maybe a day before, come back and get an updated sheet. You also get another sheet that has like all your, a list of all your chronological things that you reported to the doctor as being wrong. So you need that as well for your VA claim. Very important document. And so yeah, you need that. You need your medical records so you can turn them in. And like I said, that magic window is 180 days to 90 days before you get out, right? So it's a 90-day window that you can turn your stuff in. What else? Make sure that you're gathering all your stuff if you haven't already gathered all your stuff. And get ready for CIF turn-in, depending on if you're regular Army, reserves, whatever. Speaking with the CIF office here at Fort Gordon in Augusta, and they told me to basically get a memorandum, and it literally just states like this service member can turn in CIF in lieu of clearing paperwork, right? So installation clearing paperwork. So yeah, I can basically get that memo signed by the commander, and then take it over there with all this stuff that I'm sorting through right now. I have enough CIF here probably to start my own army, I think. I've got multiple Kevlars and ACHs and sleeping bags, and lots of body armor and crap everywhere. I have stuff everywhere, so I'm trying to get it all sorted out. Basically, when you go to CIF, just ask them to give you a printout of your CIF records, and then have them just highlight the stuff that needs to be turned in. Everything else you just keep, like the gloves, I think the combat shirts, you can keep those as well. A lot of the stuff that touches your skin, the goggles, things like that are not to be turned in. So if you look on your CIF record, your OCIE record, and you can pull this up online using AKO, I think. Go to my clothing record, print it out, and anything that's in the ETS trans column, the very last column, it'll say ETS trans. Anything in there that's marked with an N is what you need to turn in. So I have a bunch of stuff that I have to turn in. As you see, I have stuff from literally 3 or 4 generations of Army stuff. I've got the old parka, the camo parka, and the old like bear suit, black bear suit fleece stuff. And I've got some of this ASU stuff with the digital pattern, and then I've got some of the new OCP stuff, and I've got 30,000 gloves and lots and lots and lots of different things. Some of the stuff will not be turned in because it's just not on the list, right? So if you have stuff that's on the list, you know how much you would kill to have these back in the day? The Gore-Tex pants, the old camo Gore-Tex pants. You know, the high commodity item back in the day. The old Army sweater. There's some nostalgia for you to tell you how old I am, and it's still sticky and bleh. Look at that, the brown sweater. This is my favorite sweater when I first got in the Army because it was so warm. But and it smells like wet weather gear, like most of this stuff does. But yeah, get all your OCIE stuff together. Make sure you gather it up, put it in those tough boxes or put it in duffel bags, and keep a hold of it and keep an eye on it so that you know where it's at. And eventually you can turn it all in. Get the letter, get the OCIE report, and just make sure that you highlight the stuff that says N next to it. That way you know for sure what you got to turn in. It's basically a pre-screening, right? And then you just go over there and make an appointment, or if you can, they might have walk-in times. You can go in and take all your stuff and see what they say. I'm gonna try to take my stuff this week if I can get that letter back from the commander. Yeah, and turn all my crap in and get rid of it. So that's some stuff to think about. Medical stuff, super important, as I've already spoke about in a couple videos. And then OCIE stuff is very, very, very important, that you get it turned in, because you know how OCIE is. You can, if you're in the reserves, you can turn it in to your reserve center and have them send it off to Sierra Depot, but the process is a little bit drawn out. So if you can, if you have the option and the means, I would definitely go to an active duty base versus turning it into Sierra Depot, because that can be a very long drawn out process. And if something's missing or something's wrong, you won't get any immediate feedback. So you won't actually know until after the fact, right? So yeah, there's that. That's it for today. Really just making sure you understand what's important, things that you need to keep an eye on and keep track of. If anybody has any suggestions, any good ideas, any articles that you may or may not have written, if you'd like to do an interview and you have a lot of knowledge on retirement, or if you've been recently through the process, I would love to hear from you, and we can sit down and maybe do a Skype call or something like that. That'd be great, and we can add it here to the videos. I'm just trying to gather as much information as I can and put it in one spot so that for future generations to potentially have a place where we can store all this data and this information and help soldiers get through this process, because we're all going to get there someday if we stay around long enough. So I appreciate your time, I appreciate you watching, and have a great Army day. Talk to you later.